Welcome back to another episode of Consciously Clueless. You're here because you want to learn about how to live a healthier life, how to live more sustainably, how to take your everyday actions and make them work for you and the planet. Sometimes it might feel like you've got this figured out, and other times you probably feel lost. That's why I'm here. Together, we will learn how to live happier, healthier lives without the need to be perfect, and always allowing space for a little cluelessness on this journey to living a more conscious life. Here we go. This podcast is supported by Will's Vegan Store. Will's Vegan Store has been a vegan company at the front of vegan clothing and sustainable fashion since they launched in 2013 by their founder, Will Green. They produce the most beautiful, vegan, sustainably made shoes, clothing, and accessories. I have been obsessed with this brand for years now. They were one of the first vegan brands that I really made the switch to. It can be hard to thrift shoes, but I love knowing that if I'm going to purchase a pair of shoes from Will's Vegan Store, they are going to be ethically made, their workers are protected, they don't use plastic packaging, they're delivered in an environmentally friendly way. It's truly the most amazing company to support. So if you're ready to try them yourself, hit the link in the show notes so they know that I sent you. Vegan celebrities. Let's get into it. So this is a very interesting conversation that has become more and more relevant as the amount of vegan celebrities seems to be popping up all over the place. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Do we give a shit? Let's talk about all of it. So let me give you examples of some very popular vegan celebrities right now. You've got Lizzo. You've got Woody Harrelson. You've got Beyonce. I think she's still vegan. You've got Moby, Alicia Silverstone, Billie Eilish, Joaquin Phoenix, will.i.am, Kevin Smith. You might not know all of those names, but I bet you know at least one of the people I just named off. And they're pretty big names in Hollywood, right? They are people that are publicly talking about being vegan, eating a plant-based diet, living a vegan lifestyle, and potentially influencing others to do the same. But then you might remember there are some folks that were very publicly vegan that aren't anymore. For example, Ellen DeGeneres and Miley Cyrus, both of who really talked about this idea of not just eating a plant-based diet, but they both talked a lot about animal cruelty and like looking at their pets and being like, oh, then I realized I couldn't eat meat because it's the same, which I agree. But it's interesting then to know that they changed their mind on that. So let's talk a little bit about maybe what kind of happens here and why it potentially does matter in the grand scheme of things. So an important thing to remember that I wanted to clarify first is that there's this difference, and I will link to the podcast episode that I explain this a little bit more. There's a difference between being vegan and being plant-based. Being plant-based means you are primarily eating a plant-based diet, whole foods, plant-based, and then going vegan means you are living a vegan lifestyle. So on top of eating a plant-based diet, you are abstaining from vegan things in your hair products, in your kitchen, in your bedding, in anything you buy, in your clothing, whatever it is. You are trying to do the least amount of damage possible to animals, to your body, and to the environment. So if you're eating plant-based, you might not necessarily have the philosophy of being vegan. That might not be something you're talking about. An issue that comes up with vegan celebrities, and a reason I bring this up, is when people are vegan and talk about it, people that are respected, that people might follow or take advice from, and then they're not vegan anymore. And for example, like Miley Cyrus or Ellen DeGeneres talk about why they weren't vegan, it can be quite damaging, right? And it can also be quite confusing because maybe people were just plant-based and then they think that because they heard a celebrity talking about being vegan and then they weren't anymore, it can just be really confusing because maybe they weren't actually living a vegan lifestyle. They were just eating plants. But this person on Instagram scrolling and seeing a celebrity say they're not vegan anymore takes that as like a notch against a vegan lifestyle when it's really not true or not what this person was doing in the first place. So let's talk about some harms first of this. I started to talk about it a little bit, like Ellen and Miley, sorry to harp on them. They're just really good examples because they were so damn public about being vegan and now they're not. And that potentially spreads misinformation because both of them talked about health issues. And we know from all of the interviews I've done on this podcast about nutrition and other resources that I'm happy to always pass on to people if they're looking for information about being plant-based and nutrition and health, that's not necessarily true and not necessarily something they should be seen as experts in, right? So they're like, oh, I have to eat fish because of health issues. Well, that may not be the case. It's definitely not the case for everyone. And then it's spreading this misinformation about being vegan doesn't give you nutrients because Ellen told me that she now needs fish. And that's just not very helpful, right? And that goes right into this other idea of hero worship. We definitely have an unhealthy hero celebrity worship in our culture where we see celebrities because they're celebrities, like because they're a movie star or a music artist, that they are also an expert on basically anything they talk to, like because they have so many followers, they should be trusted. And there are a lot of cool celebrities talking about different lines of activism that have so much knowledge, but that's not necessarily all the case, right? So when it comes to nutrition advice, maybe you were influenced by Lizzo to go vegan, but maybe if you want information about nutrition, you should follow vegan nutritionalists and people who do this for their job, not someone who's getting the information secondhand. Just like me, like I can give you all the tips and point you in the right direction, but if you needed specific nutrition help, that wouldn't be my first thing I can help you with. And that's okay. I can give you as much good information as I have access to, and you can take that for what it's worth, and I can help you build a plan around being healthy and all of this. But specific nutrition stuff, I'm not a trained nutritionist. So it's just important to know where you're getting your information from and not necessarily taking what you hear from a celebrity as the gospel truth. So I've been pretty negative about the potential impact of vegan celebrities, but let's talk about a potential benefit from celebrities talking about being vegan, eating plant-based, etc., etc. They get to use a huge platform. Like, do I think everyone needs to be following celebrities for their vegan content? No, not necessarily. But if Lizzo going vegan is going to influence a bunch of the world to go vegan, I am here for it. Because that's a really, really cool influence that people with such a big following have. Or people that are using it to talk about really important issues. For example, Joaquin Phoenix made a speech at the Oscars about going vegan and why you should. And celebrities like Lena Dunham afterwards were like, okay, I'm going vegan. Joaquin Phoenix did it for me. That speech was it. He used a platform that he had because he's a freaking movie star to talk about this really important issue. And that's really freaking dope. Like, that's so cool that he was able to use that platform and influence people because he's trusted, whether that's good or not, right? And then there's also the benefit of people talking about being vegan or doing vegan things in the world, but aren't necessarily fully vegan. So you have people like Kevin Hart, who just opened a fully vegan restaurant in LA. Snoop Dogg does a bunch of stuff with vegan food. Eminem opened a Mom Spaghetti. Shout out if you get that reference. He's opened a restaurant called Mom's Spaghetti in California, I believe somewhere, and it has a vegan spaghetti option. That's freaking cool. Arnold Schwarzenegger was in the documentary The Game Changers, which you should totally watch if you haven't yet. And he talked about the benefits of a vegan lifestyle and eating plant-based. He's not fully vegan, I don't believe, but he is someone that's making a huge difference by using that platform. So I think it is just like with anything that celebrities could be sharing or talking about, it is just like from anybody else, whether it's a celebrity or not. You should take it with a grain of salt. You should consider the source. Do they have experience in this? Do they have knowledge of this? Or are they just sharing about their own experience? Both are valid, but what you should do with that information might be different. And we should move away from this idea of celebrity worship and hero worship, just in the sense that if someone's a celebrity and they have a zillion followers, that we should believe everything they say. That's not true in any sense, and it can be damaging. So it's important to know that it can be really fun to follow vegan celebrities. I think it's really beneficial in a lot of ways to the movement, but they don't need to be your end-all, be-all source of information, just like not one person should be for any topic. Thanks for listening to another episode of Consciously Clueless. If you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe, share with your friends, put it on social media. Don't forget to tag me. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Good Pods, leave a review. Reviews and shares help more people to see the podcast and join in on the fun. If you want to make sure to stay up to date on future episodes, follow me at Consciously Carly on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or Pinterest, and head to consciouslycarly.com to sign up for the newsletter. Ready for more conscious living content? Check out patreon.com/consciouslycarly and join the exclusive community over there. And finally, if you're ready to take better care of yourself and the world, let's work together. Click the link in the show notes to head to the website, find out more, and schedule a free discovery call with me. Chat soon! This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness or is preventing you from achieving your goals? By now, you all know that therapy is an important part of my own self-care. It has truly been a game changer in every aspect of my life, including achieving goals. BetterHelp is the largest online therapy platform worldwide. They are changing the way people get help with facing life's challenges by providing convenient, discreet, and affordable access to a licensed therapist. BetterHelp makes professional therapy available anytime, anywhere, through a computer, tablet, or smartphone. You can start communicating within 48 hours. It's not a crisis line, it's not self-help. It is professional therapy done securely online. And I have a special offer for Consciously Clueless listeners. Visit betterhelp.com/Carly and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. By using this code, you get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/CARLY. Take care of yourself today. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast.